Greetings. Welcome again to Temple Baptist Church, our devotional time. We're going to be in the book of 1 Samuel. We're going to look at chapter 30, just a little bit, a few verses out of that. One or two verses in particular, verses 1 through 6 as a group, and then group verses 18 and 19 together. And we're going to look at an event that happened in the life of David and his men. And it starts out in verse 4 of 1 Samuel chapter 30. So David and his men wept aloud until they had no strength left to weep. They just cried themselves out. The reason they're crying, the Amaleks had raided and burned down the town, taken captive the women and everyone else that was in it. And this included David's wife. David's two wives had been captured. And then you go down to verse 6. David was greatly distressed because the men were talking of stoning him. They're talking about stoning David for letting this happen, for this. And bitter in spirit because of his sons and daughters, stoning him. Each one was bitter in spirit because of his sons and daughters. Okay, they're aggravated, they're bitter because their sons and daughters and wives have all been taken captive, all the livestock. But it says right at the end of verse 6, but David found strength in the Lord his God. Now, David makes a recovery mission after an attack by the vicious Amaleks, and like I said, they found the town. The women and everyone was captured, including their wives and children. So David and the men wept until they were bitter, until they just couldn't cry anymore. There was no strength left in them. But David found strength in the Lord. God's promise, isn't it? God's promise. David pursued the Amaleks and recovered everything that had been taken. Nothing was missing. The young, the old, the boys, the girls, the plunders, anything else that had taken, David brought everything back. We do that. All of us today have these things we call cell phones or smartphones, and we store a lot of information on them. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes mine will mess up and I'll lose something. Like, you can usually go to the store where you got your phone at, and they have the ability to restore or recover what you have lost in your phone. And that's actually what David is doing here. He's recovering what had been lost. But, for me to recover something lost in this here, it takes somebody that knows how to recover it. And for David to recover what was lost, it took somebody to support him. And, as God promised, nothing was missing, and David brought everything back. So as we face spiritual attacks, and we are going to today, we're robbed us even of hope. May we find new strength in God. He will be with us in every challenge of life. But David found strength in the Lord his God. If you want to find strength today, it's in God. No matter what the challenge is, God will help us. He'll recover what we've lost spiritually. May God bless you is our prayer. We invite you to come to Temple Baptist Church. We have services on Sunday morning. First one begins at 8 o'clock. Then we have Sunday school at 9, worship service again at 10, then Sunday night at 6 and Wednesday night at 7. And may God bless you is our prayer.